Hopefully you guys are doing well. Welcome back to another trade recap. I just wanted to come out. I'm at a coffee shop right now, just kind of chilling, getting some work done. So want to run you guys through basically this trade. I'm up around 15K on the day. I took a screenshot of my Thinkorswim account and just like scraped off all the other things so you guys don't like my info doesn't get leaked. But real account, 15K on NQ, just to clear that out there because my goal is to get as least amount of paper trade comments as possible. All right, so without further ado, let's jump in. I kind of run you guys through the three trades that I took. I took three trades. One was a stop out, one was a win, and then the last PM trade really was the kind of substantial move of the day. I only made 4K in the morning, and then later in the day ended up having the 12K, 11K trade on NQ. So going into the day, really what I wanted to see was a continuation higher. And I want to run you guys through my bias of kind of how I've been reading price action lately with where we currently are in the market. Because what we've been seeing the last couple of weeks is a pretty substantial move back to the upside after, this big move that happened with tariffs. We've been pretty bullish all the way back up to this internal high. So a lot of people kind of been speculating, all right, now after this internal high gets taken, do we want to see price move back to the downside? Now, what would I need to see for me to be confident that we want to go lower? I would need to see some sort of 4-hour change in the state. So series of down close candles getting closed below. This was our first chance. Possible change in the state, come back down, continue to hold bullish order flow, got bought right back up. Second thing, right here, bullish, bearish change in the state. Failed to lack displacement. So order flow is continuously showing that I should be bullish. Unless the bigger time frame narrative shifts, I'm going to continue to be bullish. So going into the morning on the lower time frames, this is kind of what I was seeing. On the 2-hour, we had this big bullish fair value gap, and it was a kind of a balanced price range as well because we had this inverse and we also had this bullish fair value gap. So I wanted to see price continue to hold this, and you can see this 2-hour candle ended up closing super bearish as well. So we'll kind of run through the morning as well. Zooming down into the 15-minute and kind of going into open, I'll kind of replay price action here and kind of run you guys through exactly what I wanted to see, and I'll run you guys through these trades and kind of how my mind was at throughout different price action. So going into open, I actually missed. There was a really nice long setup here going into open that I ended up not taking and was just a little bit extra patient on, because going into what I wanted to see here is for me to be really bullish, and bullish saying I want to see London and Asia highs, right? Because I can recognize saying, okay, I want to see us go back to new highs. There's a lot of stacked highs. Asia and London session are basically, pushed together and it's a bunch of low resistance liquidity. So now that we're back at equilibrium of the previous price range, again, fractal price, where are we? What's most likely to happen? Well, we're back at equilibrium of the price range. So I would want to see price start to get back up. Now, what would I normally expect to see? Whatever fair value gap is here, I want to see this get ran through. And because I need to see that on the bigger time frame, the internal short the internal long that I missed this morning was a little bit, it was still a good setup, but I wanted to wait for it. But it also ended up me to cause my first trade to be a little bit late. So 15-minute, what ends up happening at open here is I would want to see this 15-minute get ran. This is the first thing I want to see for me to be like, okay, I'm pretty fully bullish here. But this was the first trade at open, basically. So before open, after this big sell-off, we pretty much had everything we needed to see. Manipulation leg, internal low got taken, and we had our change in the state. Series of down close candles. Gets closed up below, or above, sorry. And we also ran this fair value gap here. So we ran this bearish fair value gap. At open, we end up having a move higher, pulls all the way back down into this, and this is where the first possible long was. Now, I could have zoomed in, took the entry right here, but we ended up pulling back to a 1-minute fair value gap. So this fair value gap ended up getting opened. We pulled back to it, tapped it. This, in my opinion, was the first possible long today. I don't think it was extremely high quality, but I still do think that it was a good setup. What I would be doing if I was to enter this trade is my stop would basically be at the recent low. I wouldn't want to give this much room. If price just wanted to get bought up at open, and this was kind of the first thing I saw, my stop would be at this recent low, and I would be looking to take partials at this internal high and then let the rest of my contracts go. So ended up missing this. Just continue to watch, let price build. At this point in time, the first internal high gets taken. Now, at this point, I want to see a continuation through this, right? So a lot of this, if we're not recognizing what the bigger time frame confluence is, people might be trying to short this without realizing, hey, we just ran through that 15-minute fair value gap. Like, this is very bearish. There's still buy side resting above. And if we can close above this down close candle, this is our bigger time frame change. So this is what I really wanted to see for me to be extremely bullish, is to get a break above that high so that we could continue towards low resistance liquidity. So once we ended up pulling back, I still wanted to look for a long. I ended up missing it right here again. Unfortunately, this was the first possible entry right here. Continue to pull back, 15-second change right here at the series of down close candles, possible long right here. Ended up missing that as well. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm very, very patient. We've already had a big bullish move. Like, let's see what happens. So this is where I took my first loss. Now, once we got above this 15-minute, the change in the state already happened. So everything I kind of wanted to see, and I wanted to see a pullback to this so I could take a long. So on the 5-minute, had our change. We closed above it. Now, this is where I kind of had a little bit of a problem that I want to share with you. Not a problem, but an analysis differential like that. I think that was the problem. When we have a move like this at open, straight to the high, and we break through something like this, a lot of the time we're going to retrace back to equilibrium at the previous price range. So I took this long way too far in premium. I took it once we rebalanced to the change. I was looking to see a move higher. My stop was at not even this recent low, but the candle, because I knew subconsciously, I was like, this is probably going to get stopped, but because we had a change in the state, I'm just going to enter it. And I ended up losing 3.5K or something on this first trade. In my opinion, this wasn't really a good entry. Even though that the model was there, I didn't align myself with the bigger time frame, and I didn't wait for really a reason for me to enter. Just because we got above it, I was like, all right, let me long. And I was too focused on the idea of us going to those highs instead of focused on like, okay, is the market actually giving me the entry here? Because it was way too far in premium. So market ended up coming back down. Right when this got stopped, we ended up putting in an SMT. And this is where I re-entered. So I was like, okay, everything I needed to see, I most likely, I knew my entry was a little bit down, but now that we've rebalanced back inside the range, we're back inside the 5-minute fair value gap. We now just put in an SMT. I want to see this become soup to the upside. So at this point in time, I re-entered back long. I was waiting right here. Once we got this up close candle, I entered back in long. Stop was at this recent low, and I was looking for all the way back to these highs. Now, when we ended up coming up, ES took this high before NQ did. So I was waiting. Right here, I took off most of my position because ES ended up taking the highs to the left of us before NQ did. So there was a bearish SMT. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to take it off. Now, the rest of my runners, I ended up taking off here because right now, this was the bear model. So I was still in my runners at this point in time, but we had a bearish SMT resting here. And I recognize this as I could definitely expect to see the market pull back. So even if I want to see price go higher, I have to recognize what position am I in right now and how can I protect myself? Is the market, even if I want to see this, and this is kind of the difference of leaving a position on and not over managing it, letting your stop versus actually managing the position. And this is kind of the difference of it. So when I enter this trade and I'm looking for these highs and I see this SMT get put in place, number one, I'm immediately partial because I know that the market can rebalance. So once that SMT gets put in, and then we have this, which is last move up, changing the state to the downside, I ended up closing right here the rest of my position. So the exact area in which I would short, but obviously I didn't short. Why? Because it was against the bigger time frame draw. Was this short necessarily bad? Not necessarily, but it was against the bigger time frame draw. But the model is still here. There was an SMT internal high right here got taken, changing the state to the downside. So I could have shorted here, but I ended up just taking off my long as the hedge because I knew this short model was most likely going to pay out at least to these lows. So I didn't really want to see that happen. So at this point in time, position, boom, done for, off. This is when I stepped away from the market because I was up like 4K at the time, went to go work out, came back, and when I came back, we were waiting. So continue to build price action in the range. We were right here. So a little bit before this. So at this point in time, I'm still looking to take a long, and I'll show you guys how I'm perceiving this sort of price action. Now, a lot of people might be looking at this and say, Justin, this is so choppy. Today was so choppy. What you don't understand is how the market is formulating and generating buy side liquidity to then run later in the PM session. So number one, we have a breaker on the bigger time frame. So I want to align, first of all, what's the bigger time frame? Because the smaller time frames can probably fake me out of where I want to see. Right now, we know that order flow is bullish. We know that we're lacking displacement of the downside on the bigger time frame. And if I'm looking just at the price action for the day, I can say, well, hey, guess what? We've already shifted order flow today. This 15-minute series of down close candles got closed above. And now we have a 15-minute breaker, right? We've had a move lower. We took out the recent low, and then we displaced through that high, causing a breaker, right? This up close, down close candle. So when we're pulling back to this, I want to see this become turtle soup. Turtle soup is basically just internal liquidity to external liquidity. So all of these lows that are stacked right here, I want to see them get taken. I want to see an SMT with manipulation, and I want to enter in long. So once this low got put in, keep in mind, what are we also doing here? Price is accumulating to then rebalance back to equilibrium of the price range. So the entire range that we've now put in the morning, we've now rebalance back to equilibrium, right? And keep in mind, we did not rebalance. Actually, I guess we did. We rebalanced equilibrium here, but then we created a new higher high and created a bigger range, rebalance back to equilibrium. These internal lows get taken. So once this low gets taken, I immediately slap long. Now, most of the time, I'm waiting. And what I did too is I entered initial position and then added to it. So SMT, low got put in. I want to see this be the soup. As soon as that low got put in, I slapped. My fill was like 88.4. So my fill was literally 484. It was 484, like right here. So I had a really, really good fill, and I had a super tight stop at the next low right here. So there's a low to the left of us, super tight stop, super tight risk. And keep in mind, I'm entering my starter position. So I'm trying to take the soup entry, and then I'm waiting for my internal model to add to this. So what do I need to see to add to it? I want to see this fair value gap get ran through. So if this fair value gap gets ran through, I'm looking at add. So I enter in the position. Again, we're back at equilibrium. Low gets taken. ES is, keep in mind, look where ES is at this point in time as well. Oh, that's NASDAQ. Let me pull up ES. ES is nowhere near this low. So now ES is a bullish SMT, and we also took some form of liquidity. So this is a high likelihood that we are going to bounce to the upside. Why? We're holding bullish order flow. Internal liquidity is taken. And now what's the most important thing? Buy side liquidity is still resting above us. So this buy side level on ES is still intact. There's still a lot of liquidity resting above us. And now, because we have this breaker to the left of us as well, it's even more confirmation that this is most likely just going to be manipulation to stop out all of the existing traders that are long so that we can then continue towards the objective for the day. So I entered in long. Once we ended up running through this fair value gap, I'm waiting. Boom, right there. I added the rest of my position. Let the market do its thing. And we ended up pretty much just flying. Now, one thing that I did wrong on this trade, and after reflecting, I said, you know what, Justin, I believe that this actually was wrong, because I think it could be up to interpretation. But I took off my full position here. I took off my full position around here. Now, you might be asking, Justin, why'd you do that? At the time, what I did is that ES took this before NQ did. So because ES took this high before NQ did, keep in mind, right, if you look at the vertical line on my chart where it is on NQ, that's exactly where ES took this buy side level. Because ES took the objective, I said, okay, well, there's a bearish SMT. I'm going to at least partial. But then I kind of got scared and I was like, I'm just going to take the full position off. You know, I'm in good size. I'm just going to take it. Now, when should I expect an SMT to get ran versus respected? If the draw is higher and order flow is clear, expect the SMT to get ran. Now, in my opinion, you should always partial at an SMT, but you shouldn't take your full position off. You should trust whatever the model is. And I think the model was very, very clear that even if there was a bearish SMT here, we had so much low resistance buy side liquidity that we expected all of this to get ran through to the upside. So that's really the only thing that I did wrong today, is I left a lot of money on the table. It would have if I waited for that full position to get taken here, it would have been, over a 20K day. So that's really the only thing that I journaled and reflected on when I was journaling. I'll kind of show you guys. I haven't been, unfortunately, I'm trying to get back into, right now we're building so much stuff with TradePath. So I've been I have a separate journal that I haven't been making, showing you guys with, but I started today. So if I run you guys through this trade and just kind of what I journaled, basically these trades say came into the day with bullish buys, ended up taking one trade, stopped in the morning, one trade win, was up 4K, saw PM long with continuation, was already looking for a rebound to equilibrium. Once we put in the SMT, slapped longs, tight stop, pretty much bottom tick the low. Happy with the execution today, ended up taking solid setups, helped build confidence back, played out exactly how I wanted to, A+ setup, left a lot of room on the table though, but took it off because ES took the high before NQ because there's a bigger time frame bullish, though I should have left the runner on. So that was kind of my analysis from this. A+ setup in my opinion, and that was pretty much what I journaled from this. Now, I haven't been journaling my trading as much on this journal that I have logged here, but I'm going to start to. So if you guys want to check out TradePath, I'll leave the link in the description. Again, my dev teams, we're working on some really, really cool stuff. Our goal is to be the leading AI company in the trading industry. We have 2 ML developers right now that used to work at Google that are working on building out some really, really crazy stuff that you guys have literally never seen before because it's never been done before. Our goal is to create something that's never been done. So I'm super excited about that. And basically, our AI is going to read your journal and tell you exactly what you do the worst, what you do the best, and help you just become the best trader possible. And you guys will be seeing more of that once we're continuing to work on it. But anyway, that's pretty much the basic review of these trades for the day. I'm overall happy with the day. Again, only thing that I got out of today of kind of learning lesson is if order flow is bullish, again, especially on this bigger time frame, we're lacking so much displacement to the upside. Normally we're going to make higher highs, right? Every single time we're making higher highs, we're making lower, or we're making higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high. So could have left a runner on at least, and caught towards buy side, especially standard deviation. If we look over at ES, super clear standard deviation on the 1 minute. If we zoom back down in here, and I was to measure out this last down closed move, we ended up going straight towards standard deviation as well. And this ended up getting hit. So, and then we just chopped the rest of the day into the overnight session. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I actually ended up alerting this trade in the mentorship chat. So a lot of people banked on this as well. You guys can see my fill 484. I told you I literally bottom ticked this thing. But I did alert this in the channel as well. So a lot of people banked. Super, super happy about this trade. Also, last little thing, you guys don't know, but little exercise for the day. If you guys want some extra tips and tricks, normally I don't talk about this, but because we're building such amazing AI, I've been using AI so much in my life. If you go copy paste this into Chat GPT, it will change your life. AI is so powerful, but it is only powerful if you have a creative mind in your input. So I want to create a mind gym session for my brain where I take 30 to 45 minutes a day to train my mind. Ask me 15 questions one by one to completely understand how my brain works and what I need to improve on and work on and what is holding me back. Then once you know exactly how my brain works, use the latest proven cognitive brain training techniques and create me a workout plan for my mind. I did this and I have a whole list of notes that I have moved into my schedule and just things that I know are my weaknesses and are my strengths so that I can continue to work at the most efficient possible way, and especially as a trader as well. And trading, business, your life, fitness, whatever it is, you need to understand more about yourself. And AI does an amazing job at doing that. So if you guys want to get extra help for your trading, if you're focusing and you're making the same mistakes over and over again, you're failing to get actual payouts from your prop firm and you just feel like you're lost in the dust, I highly recommend join the Tactical Traders Mentorship. Let me help you, watch me trade live, work with other like-minded individuals, get access to a bunch of content, get access to a professional trading psychologist. We have her name Sarah in our community. She is absolutely amazing. She's been a professional psychologist for 12 years. She has a PhD. She works with our students. So if you guys are interested in that as well, I'll leave a link in the description so you guys can book a call with one of our team members. But without further ado, that's pretty much it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. I'm moving to Tulum tomorrow, or I'm moving out tomorrow. I'm going to Tulum for a month on the 2nd. So a lot of content to come, a lot more vlogs, a lot of cool stuff. So I will see you guys then. Peace out, guys.